So Kash Patel was on Joe Rogan's show talking about absolute bull. Frankly, Kash Patel goes on there and, basically sits there and says, do you really think we would lie to you? We, the government, we, the FBI would lie to you about the Epstein files? Now, coincidentally, as this is taking place, Elon Musk went out crazy. This was the day when Elon crashed out and said that Donald Trump was in the Epstein files. Joe Rogan's producer, Jamie, catches wind of the entire thing as they're live with Kash Patel. They bring up the tweet, and Joe Rogan completely dodges the entire conversation of Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein, literally an hour and 28 minutes into talking with Kash Patel about Jeffrey Epstein. Joe Rogan is a coward.
Elon and Trump seem to be in a bit of a spat, Joe. You want to check the tweet that Elon just put out a little bit ago?
Time to drop the really big bomb. Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. That's the real reason they have not been made public. Have a nice day. Jesus Christ.
I'm not participating in any of that conversation between Elon and
Have a
Trump.
nice day, DJT. Someone should take his phone away.
They're going back and forth about different things. And
Yeah. Listen,
Well, he said he was disappointed in Elon.
yeah, they told him to leave.
Jesus Christ, that's a crazy thing to say. How does he know? Does he know that Donald Trump is in the Epstein files? Or does he have access to the Epstein files?
I don't know how he would, but I'm just staying out of the Trump-Elon thing. That's way outside my lane.
Are they
Yes, the director of the FBI, someone whose job it is to enforce the law on a federal level, wants to stay out of the conversation concerning whether or not the sitting president could have possibly been in the Diddler files. He wants nothing to do with that. Apparently, solving possible crimes is above Kash Patel's pay grade. What he meant to say is, my job relies upon me not speaking ill of the king. This is also a clown who wrote a book about Donald Trump being a king, a children's book. Some reason we allowed Kash googly-eyed Patel to infect the minds of children with hogwash nonsense. I don't even know who let him write a book. You should not be, if you are MAGA, you should have to have a license to write a book. Kash Patel wrote a fucking book. What a tragedy. Cancer, all kind of shit, and he gets to write a book. All of the world hunger, disease, famine, war, genocide, and then you top it all up with Kash Patel. Oh my God, he gets to write a book. As if there isn't already enough wrong with the fucking world. Kash Patel writes a children's book about Donald Trump being the king and the evil Democrats trying to take him down. You could not write a more ridiculous timeline. Joe Rogan sits there and says, somebody needs to take Elon's phone. Nigga, somebody needs to take Joe Rogan's mic, that headset, that entire studio, Jamie, all of that. You just spent an hour and 28 minutes talking with this disgrace of a creature, Kash Patel, about Epstein. Then a person who you know is pictured with Epstein doing his diddler dance with Epstein multiple times on camera. This dance is very old. This dance is decades old. Don't be fooled. Donald Trump's been doing this dance for quite some time. You see Elon Musk, a very reasonably credible source, in my opinion. Elon Musk is pictured with Ghislaine Maxwell. Elon Musk is one of the richest men ever. Elon's been very rich and well known for quite some time, by the way. He didn't just become a star in the last 5 or 6 or 7 years. He's been well known for quite some time. He's been very influential and powerful for quite some time. And despite that fact, Joe Rogan just glosses over Elon Musk saying this and says someone needs to take Elon's phone. What a fucking pussy. You know Donald Trump is pictured with Jeffrey Epstein, and you don't want to talk about it in depth because you know your base wouldn't like it. And you don't want to incite the ire of Donald Trump, and you're too big of a pussy to look the director of the FBI in the face and say, if there was a reason to believe, which there is, that Donald Trump was involved with Epstein beyond just dancing with him and being his best friend and being accused of extremely insane crimes in the company of Epstein, if there's reason to believe outside of those things that, Trump was involved, would you actually try to investigate him? He knows he can't ask Cash that. He knows that Cash Patel is going to sit there and squirm, which he does do in this video concerning Epstein. Beyond Trump, like just the entire conversation about the Epstein files, Cash Patel sits there and says the most ridiculous stuff, which I'm going to talk about in a second. Joe Rogan sits there and says, well, you know, how would Elon know that? How would Elon know? What do you mean, how would Elon know that? Are you dumb? Joe Rogan plays dumb because he's afraid to confront the truth. MAGA does not care about the Epstein files. They only care about who they can find in it, who they can smear and attack and destroy. That's it. That's literally it. Donald Trump is one of the most likely suspects possible, and they've glossed all over that to focus on other people. And then their logic is, well, if Donald Trump was in the Epstein files, Joe Biden would have released it. Then why didn't Trump release them? If Trump is so innocent, if Trump is so, you know, so clean, so not guilty, why is Donald Trump not just releasing the files? If it's the big bad demon rats who are involved in the Epstein files, who are diddling and all of that, why doesn't Trump just drop the bomb? It's very obvious why he doesn't just drop the bomb. Probably because if you were to drop the bomb, other people would probably say, hey, well, you just accused me, but how about when I saw you? How about when I saw you doing this? How about when I saw you doing that? The Epstein files are literally mutually assured destruction for rich and powerful people. If it's not clear enough by now, I don't know how much more clear it could possibly be. Okay? Like, come on. Like, they know way more than we've been, you know, shown. They have way more information than they've, you know, relinquished to us and shown us. We all know this. It's very obvious. The rich and the powerful are trying to protect themselves. That's what it is. Donald Trump's not innocent. Donald Trump's not without guilt. Donald Trump is one of the most, like, high-profile associates of Jeffrey Epstein, if not the most high-profile. He is the president of the United States. What are we talking about right now? Seriously, what are we talking about? Joe Rogan is a pussy. He's afraid to acknowledge the truth that Donald Trump is one of the most sus niggas possible to even be associated with Epstein, and we're sitting here pretending like, you know, oh, Elon's just off his rocker. He's on one right now. Well, he probably is on one, probably multiple drugs, but it doesn't change the fact that Elon Musk probably had a good reason to say that. He didn't just say Trump was in the Epstein files. He also said, oh, by the way, the truth will be revealed in time. As in, there's some information out there that either Elon Musk possesses or Elon Musk knows a third party possesses that would compromise Trump. Elon didn't just say, hey, Trump's in the files. He's saying, hey, there is information that will be revealed to show that Trump is in the files. Joe Rogan dances all around that because, God forbid, they acknowledge the fact that Donald Trump was one of Jeffrey Epstein's closest associates. They'd rather talk about Obama, who's never, ever, ever been seen with Epstein ever, or Biden, who's never been seen with, like, bro, they are so obsessed with people who have never been pictured with Epstein. Meanwhile, Donald Trump can smile with him, dance with him, check out girls with him, and it's all cool. A woman can literally come out and say, Donald Trump did this to me with Epstein, and they can all just sit there and say, well, we don't really know what's going on. How do you know what's going on? Bro, MAGA is a movement of absolute animals. Disgusting, filthy human beings who pretend to give a shit about anyone and anything. They have no morals, no scruples. They don't care about who got diddled. They don't care about what happened on that island. They don't care. All they care about is who can we use the files against. That's it. That's literally it. Joe Rogan sitting there talking about how would Elon know that? Someone needs to take his phone. Take his phone for what? Do you not want to know if Donald Trump, who's pictured with Epstein multiple times, could have been involved? You don't want to know? You just want Elon's phone to be confiscated? Fucking Joe Rogan, bro. And he's going to try to, I'm telling you, Joe Rogan, if there's anything he does best is he flows with the vibes. When Trump fucks this up well enough, which he will, eventually Joe Rogan will come back. He'll try to be liberal again. He'll try to be normal again. And we're all going to pretend like Joe Rogan didn't just sit there and try his best to dance around the very obviously, important topic of whether or not Donald Trump was directly involved in the crimes that Jeffrey Epstein committed. Someone needs to take his phone. Nigga, shut your stupid ass up.